Hi, how you doing? My name is Delana Scoffrey, CEO of Prolific Media, coming to you from my office. Just wanted to kind of talk about a couple of different things. I was recently talking with a gentleman. We were discussing what were the three most important things that you have to have in order to be successful. And there's a lot of different things that I think that go into being successful, but I think that to go from point A, which is where you currently are, to point B, to which is you set a goal, and so in between A and B, there's a destination, there's a journey that's going to take place going from A to B. So what you have to define is you have to define, okay, where am I at today, and then where am I trying to go, which is the point B. So in order to get from point A to point B, regardless of what that goal is, some say maybe the goal is to make $10,000 a month. Some would say maybe the goal is to get a degree. Maybe some would say that the goal is to be a better parent. Maybe they would say the goal is to, be a better philanthropist, or be a better volunteer, be a better Samaritan. Whatever the goal is, however, whatever A is for you, and wherever you're trying to go to point B, that's irrelevant. But it's just the process of moving. There's three things that I think that are pivotal to getting from point A to point B successfully. First, people would define, well, what is success? Success is basically, and for this, just for what we're using in this term, an accomplishment. That's it. That's all really a success will mean in this instance, is an accomplishment. So in order to be considered accomplishing your goal, achieving your goal, here's the three things that you got to have. The first one, and it's the most important, is the prequel, so you can have the other three. The first one is desire, the second one is work ethic, and the third is commitment. You can have work ethic and you can have commitment, but if you don't have any desire, you'll just be where you are. You'll have more of what you have, but you'll just pretty much be right here at A. That's where you'll exist. But desire is the fuel that makes it all go. One of my favorite speakers is a guy by the name of George Zaleki. He talks about having a white hot desire. And it can't be all kind of wishy-washy, have a dream, I wish things were different, I'd like things to be different. It's an actual white hot burning desire. Something has transpired in your life where you said, it is no longer cool for me to be here at point A. I need to get up off my assets and I need to get to point B. Something has happened that has made you desire more, that made you really hunger to get that education. Because you know what? I don't have a college degree, but I know people that do. I know people that have a lot of degrees, and they separate themselves from others because that's a hard task to do. It's not easy to go to school for 4 years and get a degree. It's not easy to go back and get another degree. So you got to always tip your hat to people. It takes a certain... Now, there's a lot of people that have done it that maybe didn't have a burning white-hot desire, but in order to go and succeed at getting a degree, you have to have a white-hot desire. You have to have a desire for something to be different. Now, there are occasions where it takes people, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years to get a 2-year degree. I would say that their desire level may not have been that high, but I mean, I'm just speaking in terms of people that make the decision, they go to school, and then they finish. Those are people that you would say that have a white-hot desire. So desire is the first. Desire is the catalyst. The second is work ethic. And basically what I mean by work ethic is how hard do you work? Generally, people with good work ethic excel within their company. They never kind of stay at the bottom. They usually excel within their company because they just put their nose to the ground and they go to work. People with outstanding work ethic. And you have to have a work ethic first. But the better your work ethic, obviously, the greater level of accomplishment that you'll be able to obtain. If your work ethic isn't stellar, I mean, it's unfortunate, but you have some people that are just content with doing just enough, and that's why they make just enough for their life to be where it is. But people who have always desired to have more and want more, what they've done is they've found a way to work harder. Now, working harder doesn't necessarily mean that you have to work harder, but there's a book called Think and Grow Rich, so obviously the concept of working smarter, thinking your way to the top, obviously is more appealing than going by brute force, because some people would assume that work ethic just means it, and you can do this. But some people just think that I will work bone hard harder than anybody else. Well, but you know what? If there's a smarter way to do it that would require maybe not so much effort, and it isn't taking the easy route, it isn't taking the lazy route, but it's just thinking more efficiently. Our country, our civilization really has been made off the backs of people who had that kind of ability to think. And so it's because they said maybe instead of walking everywhere, how about we can create a way that we can ride there? That's the evolution of thinking. So that, in a sense, is an example: thinking smarter, not harder, working smarter, not harder. But you also have to have a certain level of determination as well that comes with it, a certain level of persistence. Because work, sometimes in the beginning when you're not very good at something, well, it's going to take you a little longer to do it. And so it always takes practice, it always takes persistence. Practice will get you anywhere you want to go. Because, you know, Zig Ziglar always talks about you got to be bad before you can be good, and you got to be good before you can be great. So essentially, it's going to take a certain level of persistence as well. So the work ethic has to be what pushes your persistence through so that you can obtain or you can accomplish whatever it is you're trying to accomplish. The third and final thing, and then again, there's more things to it than just these three, but I think that these three cover basically the nucleus of what it takes to accomplish anything from A to B, getting from point A to point B. The third thing is commitment. And commitment is a tough one because most people never follow through. And it's unfortunate, but most people don't stick to their word. They say they'll do something until it gets tough. And when it gets tough, then they get going. But when it gets tough, you have to get back up and get going again. Commitment means doing the thing you said that you would do long after the mood that you set it in has left you. I take that from the great Mr. George Alki as well. And commitment is not 99%, not 99.9%. It's 100%. Imagine if you got married and you told your wife, baby, I am 99.9% committed to this relationship. Do you think that you'd be walking down the altar? Commitment is 100%. I'm not going to stop until I get the job done. Seeing it through. Commitment, I think the most important thing that you should commit to get you from point A to point B is you should commit to lifelong learning. Most people think that only formal education is the only education that they need. So long after they're in school, they neglect to ever pick up a book. I don't believe that that's the smartest decision. I think that the most successful people are the people that continue lifelong learning. Whether it's in their field, whether it's in their practice, whether it's just personal, whether, most importantly, spiritual. I don't think that's an area that people really are committed to. Most people aren't committed to lifelong learning. You have to be a student for the rest of your life. Because the moment that you stop learning and you stop growing, that's it. So I think that you have to have a 100% commitment. Be committed to lifelong learning. And be committed to being successful. If you're embarking on a new journey, let's say that your goal is to quit smoking. Don't quit just because, and go back to smoking just because it was hard. Commit to being successful. And by successful, again, I mean accomplishment. Because if you say, I'm not going to stop until I succeed, then by your own words, you shall succeed. And so, again, those are the three keys to success. Anytime you want to try to go from point A to point B in your life, irregardless of what that is, I'm all about setting goals. If you don't have goals set and actually written down, then you're basically allowing whatever happens in your life to happen. Now, that's not to say that by setting goals, you will 100% achieve your goals, but you're much more likely to do it if you have a target than as if you don't. If you're just kind of going around aimlessly hoping that things happen for you, well, things will happen if you hope. But I would much rather say things will happen if I do. So set a goal to go from point A to point B at any aspect in your life. You do it financially, you do it spiritually, you do it mentally, you do it intellectually. you do it relationship-wise. Set a goal to be somewhere different in 5 years in every aspect of your life, and I can promise you that you will be somewhere different over the next 5 years of your life. So thank you guys so much for taking the time to come and check me out again. My blog is prolificmedia.wordpress.com. You can catch me on YouTube at Prolific Media. You can follow me on Twitter at Prolific Media. You can find me on Facebook, D. Escofri. And if you ever have any questions, any concerns, you want to, make an additional comment, hit me up on one of the miscellaneous social media sites, or you can send me an email to prolificmedia@acnrep.com.